It's the final countdown. 4 gamers remain standing ready to unleash their lethal monsters. Only 2 will be summoned to the ultimate war, the World Championships. And only 1 will be crowned the King of New York. The final battles begin now. And back we are with a look at all of the familiar sights of the Big Apple. New York City host to the New York Regionals for the Summoners War Championship Series here at Time Arena in New York City. Beautiful day outside, but nobody looking to set foot outdoors as all of the attention is indoors right here at the Time Arena. We are down to just 4 players in the semifinals. During the break, you guys got a chance to watch Berrien emerge victorious out in Los Angeles at the regionals, as the 2 who are in the finals here are going to be moving forward to the World Championships on November 25th in LA to be joined by both Berrien and Cy and a host of other players who have qualified from around the world. Here is another look at our tournament format. A reminder, it is a single elimination. We are playing best of 3s until we get to the finals. That'll be best of 5, and of course, as I just mentioned, the top 2 are going to be moving to the World Arena Championships. Gentlemen, pressure is really on now here in the semifinals. You understand that it is win and you get yourself to the Worlds, lose and you're left with disappointment.
Yeah, that's it. Just one more match. That's it. That's
well, try telling that to the guys who have to face Tiger and Chuffles, respectively.
Of course, but they just have to do it one more time, and that's it. But just as a reminder here, here's another look at the brackets as we pull those up.
Yeah, and there it is. Goku will face off against Chuffles, and then Howie will be going up against Tiger. And if I had to guess, although you know how diplomatic Childish can be, he's going to circle Chuffles and Tiger into the finals. Am I right?
I'm looking to see both of those move on, considering what they have currently played out. Let's not take anything away from Goku as well. I mean, all of these players have really done a good job getting up to this point, but again, Chuffles is looking really strong today.
Yeah, there's been a few upsets already, though, so certainly it is not a foregone conclusion who we're going to see moving into the finals. You looking forward to anything in particular out of these 2 matchups, Clay?
I don't know. I'm really impressed at how both Goku and Howie are playing. We came into this, I didn't really know too much about either of them. But I feel like they're playing really strong. I feel like Goku and Howie are both really smart players, and they could potentially beat them. I'm not counting them out at all.
If there's a feather in Howie's cap, of course, it's the fact that, save for what his competition has been able to bear witness to thus far in him arriving at the semifinals, he's been largely under the radar, right? And then for Goku, it's a guy that, you know, not anybody necessarily expected a tremendous amount out of, but he has impressed all of us to this point. So let's send it right back into the arena where it is time to get the semifinals underway. There's a glimpse at the podium, not in the shot, the hundreds of fans who have waited since early this morning for a chance to see these gladiators, and the first of them in the semifinals is that man right there, Goku Eats Watermelon. And he is going to be facing off against a nightmare for most players in Summoner's War. It is Chuffles. And we say nightmares because he understands what it means to be feared.
I think I'm good, right? I think I'm good. I think I'm not lying. I think I'm great, but I wouldn't put myself as the favorite to win. And I feel like if you lose to the favorite to win in a tournament, it's like, okay, well, they were expected to win, right? But then if you lose to someone who's not the favorite, but you know they're kind of good, it's like more, it's worse than if you just lost to the favorite. You know what I mean? So there's more of like an emotional, like emotional factor of like, oh, I don't want to lose to this guy, whereas because they know they can beat me. Whereas if you play like the best of the best, it's like, well, I don't really have a super high chance of beating them anyways, so maybe that's why. I wouldn't put myself as the scariest competitor out there. So I think they're lying.
There's this phenomenon in nature called playing possum, gentlemen. I think you may be familiar with it. It feels as though right now Chuffles could be playing possum. Perhaps he didn't anticipate he would have advanced this far. Obviously, he understood he was going to be playing potentially Sin Booty at some point, and, you know, that's the man that many had picked, along with Tiger, to get far. But he's the man who's feared now. He's, ironically enough, the guy he's talking about. You know, he says it takes himself a really long time to get good at a game. He's only been playing since August 2015, and he is really good. He's keeping it real as we are set and ready to start the draft childish between Chuffles and Goku. Here we go. The first of two semifinals, game one, underway.
Man, here we go. Got Goku locking it down with regards to Tiana first pick, and then Chuffles answering back on the Sierra Villageoil pick here. Of course, now we have to wait. It looks like Goku's kind of sitting back, trying to decide what to do here. 9 seconds to go. Interesting thing. He must have been looking at a possible Sierra to pick in his lineup here and had to get set back here.
Ganny Wusa follow-up from Goku.
We've seen a lot of Tiana from Goku, and I think he heavily relies on that unit. It actually does a lot of damage, as we've seen in the past matches as well, and he picks it first here as well, along with Ganymede and Wusa. But I feel like it's a good option going into Sierra. You definitely want to have some sort of immunity buff if you plan to let her through. Of course, the Wusa versus the Perna is also a good matchup as well.
Given what Chuffles has already seen out of Goku to this point, and the fact that Tiana doesn't really rank into Chuffles' typical builds, could Goku leading with Tiana allow Chuffles to zero in and say, I know you're reliant on this unit, I'm going to go ahead and ban it?
Could be, and I mean, we see an extremely uncommon pick here, going with Garo, the Fire Ninja.
Yep.
What do you think about that, Childish?
I think it's great. I'm so glad to see him play a little bit of a gambling game here, mixing it up. Garo, the Fire Ninja, recently got a change to his skill set that's going to allow him to, once he is basically able to take down or gets knocked out, the damage that he won't take the damage, but he will generate 50% of his attack bar, and unless an opponent gets an additional turn to take him out, he will be able to push his attack bar up and stay alive.
So a very unconventional and yet to be seen pick between LA and New York. I don't ever remember seeing this, whether it was banned or whether it was drafted.
No.
So obviously some of the recent tweaks perhaps incentivizing Goku to employ the Fire Ninja. And certainly Chuffles wasn't ready for that, but nonetheless he bans the Ganymede.
Yep.
To be honest with you, I think it's a good choice going against Ethna and Sierra. Garo could potentially actually work.
Yeah, I love it. I love the choice. It's great. Again, if it takes a blow that's going to basically kill him, a deathly blow, it will not take the damage. It will increase the attack bar. But of course, if the opponent gets an additional turn, it could take it out right then and there. So we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, talk about RNG though.
Yeah, yeah.
So here we go, game one in the first of the semifinals. And the first attack went to Chuffles, I believe. And Chuffles started off.
Chuffles got the first turn, but then Goku was able to come back right away with his Tiana and violent Wusa,
Yep.
pick. And again, the Praha able to remove most of the buffs there, but Garo and Laika still with full buffs there, which is a little bit concerning for Chuffles. Able to get the stun though on Garo, which is definitely what he was looking for.
Yep.
And is he gonna put the bomb down on Garo? He's gonna, yeah, he does. Goes for the bomb on Garo, leaves it there so that way he can get another bomb landed here as soon as possible.
I like the play that by holding it back. Obviously, the stun's in play, but keep in mind that if the bomb is going to do enough damage to essentially take him out, again, he's just going to be able to increase the attack bar on Garo and allow Garo to get an additional turn. Garo's second skill, one of the things that most people may have not seen, his second skill is going to be able to have 2 chances to land a stun. So again, considering that Chuffles does not have any kind of immunity whatsoever, those stuns can hold him back, for especially with regards to Perna here being the only fire monster versus Garo and Laika to do something.
Getting the violent proc from Wusa there for Goku. Still unable to land any critical hits on Sierra, leaving her to be able to land another bomb. And she still stays alive to be able to get another violent proc and get a couple more turns in. Unfortunately, I don't think she's going to last too much longer, but she actually is going to get another turn based on her attack bar, and she's going to be able to land another bomb onto Wusa, and that's going to be game over for Goku at this point.
Yeah, Garo out of the picture.
Take note on that one there.
Just that HP, just a little bit extra HP is the reason why she was able to come back and land a couple more bombs and win this game.
There it is. That's why we farm day in and day out, getting those grindstones and enchantments to improve our runes just that much more. And we have it right there. Game one going to the man, Mr. Chuffles.
So down 1-0 is Goku. Maybe not going to get cute with that Garo again?
I don't know. It was an interesting pick. Again, I feel like it was the right, I mean, not necessarily the one right pick out of all the monsters that he has.
But it worked given the
the right
comp he was up against.
Right.
Right situation to use it. I probably wouldn't expect to see it one more time, though.
Right. Unless Chuffles decides to lay out 2 more wind-based monsters like a CR Ethna. I mean, again, I feel like incorporated that he was planning on doing that, but the aspect of picking those 2 fire monsters versus 2 out of 3 monsters that Chuffles was bringing, having the elemental advantage, that might have been one of the reasons to incorporate.
And Chuffles picking up the first pick, wasting no time blocking the Tiana.
Yep, I hope.
He did his homework. He knows how important that Tiana is to Goku, and it leaves him to the last second picking his team. Locks in with the Fangyan and Rakuni pick, which is always a strong combination. Chuffles going a little bit more YOLO this time as well, as we've seen in the past, because he was able to lock down that Tiana.
It looks like Goku was anticipating the YOLO approach by Chuffles, and rightfully so here, going with that Fangyan and Rakuni. I'm thinking that he's going to stick with that kind of strategy, bring some more sustainability to his composition. But again, we cannot count Chuffles out. He's already proven that his aggressive approach can work.
I'd look
The
to see
Sierra
it,
and the Perna follow-up from Chuffles, they're a real wrecking crew so far.
We got an interesting
2
pick
more
right here.
fire monsters. Both of them really interesting picks. We've seen the segment once already, and it ended up working out just fine. But the Fire Mermaid.
Fire
Josh.
Mermaid is Plady, that it is the Fire Mermaid. Really unique monster. First skill having the buff removal. Second skill, similar to Beta, having the heal as well as the attack bar increase. And then, of course, one of the recent changes on his third skill, being able to get that reset aspect here. Really, really nice, considering that we have Perna in there. That is a really good point to bring. He can be able to take out Perna in one go.
Goku waiting to the last minute on every single one of his picks because he knows that this is a very, very crucial point in the entire tournament for him right now. He needs to make sure that he's focusing on what he's doing, being 100% on all of his picks, and it's super, super interesting to see Plata go down or him being in this situation.
I like the ban there on Chuffles, considering what he has laid out. But then again, 2 different types of reset by means of Plady and segment here. This could cause Chuffles a little bit of an issue if he cannot take a unit out right from the get-go.
So I think right now, just based on pick bans, Chuffles got the slight advantage because if that Wusa goes up, we know it's not super fast because it is on violent. Chuffles may outspeed the Wusa with his Tiana, but then should be able to put up the immunity buffs from Veligil. So I don't know.
I'm curious.
It's going to be a good one.
I'm curious to see how he decides to use that Rakuni in composition with like the rest of his team here. Who is he going to resurge? Is he going to try to bring back Wusa multiple times to keep that immunity, despite the fact that Tiana's in there, or does he resurge a different monster, maybe Sekmet or Platy, to get those resets quickly?
YOLO approach from Chuffles here, looking to close it out with a 2-0 victory. Doesn't want to get to that 3rd game.
Just missed the kill on Rakuni, and I was a little bit skeptical on what his plan was because he used the Tiana before Wusa actually used his 3rd skill, but here goes the 3rd skill now with Tiana unable to remove anything. So it's going to be up to breaking through that shield, getting that Perna back in there to hopefully take out that Rakuni. Otherwise, right now, that Perna's not in a good situation. It's stunned down.
It's locked down. And then again, if something were to happen where, there you go, Annabelle brings it back. I see that he's trying to work down the Plady. I thought he was going to go for Rakuni initially, but of course with that defense break on Plady, it looks very, very enticing.
Yeah, definitely want to take advantage of the defense break on Platy, of course, because it doesn't have the shield either on that one as well. So seeing that, it makes a little bit sense there, but as far as that Perna, it's attack broken now. I think the 2 main units to watch is the Perna for Chuffles, and then making sure that he can take out the Rakuni from Goku's team.
Right, yeah. And let's not forget that Plady, the Fire Mermaid, that 2nd skill is able to actually revive with the 2nd skill, revive or the heal aspect, whichever it decides to do. But of course, if it does use a revive, the counter on it gets increased from 4 to 7 turns. So Rakuni is now up, trying to take out that Perna. Wasn't able to get it done. Trying to get a sleep there from Annabelle. Chuffles did not land it. Wusa now is going to get that Perna away. And it's not going to be coming back, Clay.
Nope, decided to finish off the Perna, not play any games instead of going for the 3rd skill. Does get the violent proc though from the Wusa. Still, again, no reason to put up the shields because there's not really too much threat out there anymore with that Perna gone, and that Platy, whatever you want to call it, turns out to be a good choice here.
The Fire Mermaid.
The Fire Mermaid, yeah. Getting another crucial stun on Veligil, so Veligil cannot use his Sanctuary. Kuni is now up. Is he going to resurge? I like the choice there with the third skill being available. Charming Voice landed on Tiana, but it is going to get it in. It does. Tiana's skills are completely reset, so now Wusa can put up his Wish of Immortality to get the immunity and shield up for 3 turns without worrying about that Tiana.
So there's still a lot of sustainability from Chuffles with having the Annabelle still in play. So even though it looks heavily in favor of Goku at this point, he's still got to be a little bit careful to finish it off. I think once he gets down either the Tiana, looks like he's working on right now, or the Annabelle, which would be his next decision, I would assume. But he actually takes off the will from Veligil, which I like because he's setting himself up for a nice second skill here.
Yeah. Speaking about the skill set, let's not forget these Desert Queens bringing that attack break on the first skill is definitely important considering how the mechanic of the clock timer running out and providing a little bit more attack power. Obviously, these are support-based monsters, so you're not going to see a crazy ton of damage, but again, really nice component here to have in the later stages of the matches.
Down goes the second skill from Sekhmet, and here goes Platy now onto the Tiana, does increase the cool time and gets a stun.
Very, very nice. That Platy is definitely coming into play today.
Nice.
First we had Theomore.
We see what you did there.
You like that? You like that?
Chuffles zeroed in on the Raccoon early and then sort of seemed to give up after not having closed it out. Refocusing, I know, was there a defense break on the Platy earlier that caused him to sort of shift his attention?
He may not have been suspecting such a huge, utility or play from Platy, and decided that that was the more important monster to get. But as you can see, both of their faces right there as Annabelle gets stunned, but she did not care. She was like, nope, I'm still going to take this violent proc and get right back in there. Fortunately, not a whole lot of skills that she had up at that point, but now interesting using the third skill on Tiana as I was pretty much ready to die anyway. But again, mistakes can happen a little bit at this point just because he's got this one pretty much in the bag here, I would assume. The only other
Didn't want to take any chances.
Yeah, I didn't want to take any chances, I would assume, but
And he may know something that we don't know. Maybe that third skill has a little bit stronger damage multiplier to make sure that he can consolidate or just take it out.
Goku looking really, really good at this point here. Dropping those debuffs on. Hopefully going to kill the Veligil at this point, and yep, Chuffles does resign.
Okay.
So the match is now level at 1 game apiece. Goku making the necessary adjustments, and we will go to Game 3 to decide who the first person to guarantee a trip to the Worlds will be and give themselves a shot at the New York regional title by getting into the finals. Goku or Chuffles?
And I said, don't count Goku out. And just like that, he evens the score up at 1-all, and now Chuffles gets the first pick here. Decides to go with Sierra instead of taking away Goku's Tiana this time, going maybe back to his roots. But it looks like, again, we go to the coin toss, so Chuffles did win that coin toss at that point.
Yeah, Sierra, I love the pick there by Chuffles on the first. With regards to Sierra, Sierra is one of those units that even if you get the perfect, you're not going to give a lot of strategy, despite the fact that Goku does know what kind of strategies he likes to employ. I think Chuffles may wait, in fact, until to see what Goku brings in order to decide to change what he wants to do, and it looks like he may be going that YOLO approach.
So here we go again with Goku's Tiana Feng Yan combination. Chuffles answering back with 2 fire monsters of his own with Perna and Veligil.
We got 20 seconds to get it underway from Goku. Second round of picks. What is he going to decide?
Similar comp so far from Chuffles.
Yeah.
And Goku taking advantage of the opportunity to pick up that Tiana, which he didn't have in the last game, and loves that unit.
Looks like
Goes again with the Platy Sekhmet combination, as it worked so well for him last time. I would say I'd agree with that. Stick with what works, and Chuffles not really having too much different diversity in his picks so far, so why not?
Yeah, and have we seen Goku pull out a Ganymede yet as of today, or no?
I don't think I saw.
I don't think it says. So this might be the answer, an alternative approach to Ganymede if you don't have it. For all the viewers out there, not having those crucial nat 5s, take note, fire Platey.
Before you go whining about not having any nat 5s, there are other options. And you know who's paying attention to that Platey pick is Howie and Tiger.
You know it.
Because obviously if they get through one another, whoever gets to the finals may be having a deal with some of that Platey if Goku wins this match here. And back with Garo.
Yeah, Garo is
comes
back.
Goku.
I wonder what he's going to do. I wonder if that segment is super, super fast, considering that Garo is bringing the 30% speed lead to fire. If he can get the first turn and possibly reset one of these crucial units, we'll have to decide. I don't know. This will be interesting.
I think it's going to be fun if Goku somehow manages to win this fight, to see two less used monsters, 4-star monsters, able to have a really solid effect on a top-tier RTA player.
Yeah.
I think that brings a lot of hope to a lot of viewers out there. So
and
I
as
like what Goku's trying to do.
And as I predicted, he does bust out the 30% lead, getting the first turn on Sekhmet and getting it down. I think he did get the reset on Velajol here, so really nice job on that aspect here. Of course, we got Platey to back it up to lock down Perna. My guess is he's going to be trying to work down Perna with the second reset and try to take it out with Garo.
Now last match, or last game rather, we saw Chuffles zeroing in on Raccoon. Raccoon not here on this occasion, but Platey out there who played such an instrumental role last time around. Do you think we'll see him focus his attack on Platey more so in this game?
I would assume that he's going to start focusing on the Platey. It could either go one way or another depending on the defense breaks. Does get a lot of, I mean, it's a full team defense break now, so that's super crucial for Chuffles, but Chuffles also got the resistance on Platey's reset, so that's one thing that puts Chuffles in the advantage as well. But as you can see, the damage goes down onto Platey. That Garo is doing a ton of damage to the Perna, though. If you can get that Perna down as soon as possible, it could be a really good situation for Goku to be in. But he's got the heal up from Praha, does decide to use it.
Yeah, I was actually pretty surprised about 6 turns back. Annabelle had the opportunity to cleanse Perna and get it out of that stun, but Chuffles actually decided not to do it, but of course it doesn't mean anything right now. Perna coming out of the woodwork, taking out that unit right there.
Yep, Platey down.
Wow.
Lots of damage from that Perna, now taking out essentially 2 monsters, a whole lot of damage on both the Sekhmet and the Platey, of course, that went down.
Speaking of damage, 15K times twice, a total of 30K on that Perna, knocking it out. Don't call it a comeback. Garo is taking out these premium nat 5s.
Garo there using his passive to avoid all the damage from Velajol.
Right. And I think it was a great choice to go for the Perna. Obviously, Perna being the damage dealer of the team. Perna's going to be the one, on that violence that maybe Annabelle will get the additional turns on the first skill, but of course, if that passive procs, he's going to be able to increase the attack bar and essentially get a turn to just get it done. And ooh, the additional turn is in, and there it goes.
Down goes Garo.
We just talked about that right there. Getting the additional turn on Annabelle was able to knock it out. Chuffles is looking really good.
Yep, I think that's pretty much it. That's exactly what Chuffles needed. Came down to that one violent proc there that was able to allow him to take out Garo and not really have too much problems here going in to the finals for
Full team defense break, obviously a big advantage for Chuffles. Zeroed in properly on the Platey, which he sort of neglected to do with the Raccoon out there in the last game, and now writing was on the wall. Goku concedes, and Chuffles will be the first player to make his way into the finals and guarantee a spot at Worlds, guys. And that was a heck of a match. We saw, like, in the pick ban phases in particular, we saw some really interesting things going on. Out of Goku in particular, who, of course, won't be advancing. But, you know, from a selfish standpoint, for entertainment, we love seeing those monsters that, you know, don't typically get drafted, actually getting through. And he showed us some of that. The Platey in particular, Childish, really, really interesting use.
A really interesting
that
monster.
unit.
Like we said before, if they don't have the Ganymede there, that is a great option to have. Having that ability to reset, revive, increase the attack bar, so many options. And like we said before, when it comes to RTA, bringing in monsters that just have tons of different roles they can play, it's a nice addition to his team.
Yeah, versatility, a nice addition to just balance overall, right, Clay?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like you said, we like seeing those extra monsters. We like seeing those 4-star monsters. Unfortunately, Chuffles was able to deal with them appropriately in that last match, and Chuffles punching his ticket to Worlds. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Excited and standing by with Maria Ho.
Chuffles, first off, congratulations for making it to the finals. You are now going to go to the Summoners War Championships along with Barian and Sai from the LA Regional. So you look pretty excited. Do you feel excited?
You know, I'm super excited to go. Don't get me wrong. I just felt like, you know, I did get a bit lucky in that last one. His Garo like scared the bejesus out of me. Like that was no joke. Yeah.
So there were some unconventional picks from your opponent. Do you feel like, you know, the first round it didn't really work out for him, but the second round it did, and then going into the third game, were you nervous about that outcome?
I wasn't nervous per se. I just kind of, you know, I thought to myself, if I play my game, if I don't draft really badly, if I just, you know, do my stuff, I'll be okay.
Okay, well, is it an obvious or not so obvious question of who you don't want to face in the finals?
Well, okay, I don't want to fight Tiger because Tiger's a beast, but he's my buddy, so I want him to win, so I don't know.
All right, well, we'll see who you're going to face in the finals. For now, take a quick break. We'll see you back here in a bit.
Thanks.